Cowboys win because
Azriel liked eating Swerve.
Cowboys lose because
The cat and the
Probably both.
in the game
Alley cat.
between the Cowboys and the Bears. Don't forget, pregame starts at 9 o'clock, and then we'll run pregame with interviews with Tank Lawrence. That's Chris Arnold's player profile. Then after the game, you got the 3-hour post. And then after that, we will still be running live programming until 9 p.m. with KG and Chris Arnold. So that's the place to be all weekend right here on The Fan. May I, gentlemen, go first?
Best of luck.
Mother may I.
Cowboys win because they forced multiple turnovers. So here's the turnover breakdown for the Bears. They had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 1. So they've had a turnover in every single one of their games this season. And in 3 of their last 5, they've had multiple turnovers. So I think that's the key right there. You're going up against a team that will give up the ball, and you've still shown the ability to get turnovers, not at the exact same rate as last year, but it's actually closer than you would think. And with the pressure that the Cowboys put on, getting multiple turnovers, I think, is how they're going to win this game.
It's impressive.
Do you want Cowboys to lose because, or do we want to go
No,
across?
give me your fictional thing on how they lose.
Okay, and because I know the
Mike
answer
say
is
no.
they will not,
Uh-huh.
is they cannot contain the mobile quarterback. Is Daniel Jones 79 yards on 9 carries against the Cowboys, and then just this last Monday, you saw Justin Fields with 82 yards on 14 carries. So if you see a scenario in which Justin Fields is running the ball, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, and you're giving up upwards of 6 yards per carry, I think that could be problematic. And so I feel much more confident in the Cowboys winning, but I think that's the Cowboys lose because Justin Fields runs wild on them.
Well, you want me to go?
If you want to, I'm ready whenever you guys are.
Cowboys win because they are 5 times better than this Bears team. It's not even close talent-wise what the Cowboys have and what the Bears have.
To your point, Mike, on the matchup predictor, what they do with the computers for ESPN, they have a 15% chance that the Bears win and an 85% chance that the Cowboys win. So that is almost a 6-to-1 ratio right there.
So Cowboys win because they are way better, and they're going to win by a lot. By the way, 27-6.
Wow. Okay.
Thinking maybe 13, but that was what I picked last week, 27-13.
Got to switch it up.
Yeah, it was 24-6 last week for the Cowboys. I'm just going to pick 27-6 for the Cowboys. So the Cowboys lose because last week I didn't have one because I just said it's the Lions. They're not losing. And then when they had the ball first and goal on the 1-yard line in the second half and the Cowboys were winning 10-6, I'm like, my God. That was right after the Micah Parsons. I thought it was a touchdown. I'm like, oh my God, we're losing 13-10, and there's not a whole bunch of time left in this game. Can't believe it. So I will give a Cowboys lose because. The Cowboys lose because, tying it into my team, the Dallas Mavericks, they show up like they're in New Orleans playing the Pelicans without Zion and without Brandon Ingram. So how can the Cowboys lose? They show up with the same energy and the same attitude as the Dallas Mavericks did taking the court in New Orleans this week. So if the Cowboys say all we have to do is show up, there's a possibility of losing.
Okay.
So that's the only way I can see the Cowboys losing is they don't even care to play football the way that the Mavericks didn't care to play basketball.
From the 682, Cowboys win because Pollard runs for 150 plus and Dak is more accurate. From the 972, this would be sad. Cowboys lose because a superstar goes snap, crackle, pop. From the 214, Cowboys win because, yes, that is so weird. Cowboys win because Pollard scores 3 touchdowns. And the only way the Cowboys lose is if they get locked in their locker room and have to forfeit. At some point, somebody would open the door, right?
Before we get to, yes, I hope so. Before we get to Corey's win because, lose because, I even feel confident. Let's just say I'm not putting this on. If Dak had to go out in the second quarter because of the injury, I still feel like the Cowboys are going to win.
I do too.
All right.
Interesting.
That's it.
All right. Well, that kind of does play into where I'm going with this. Cowboys win because the run defense stuffs.
Yeah.
All right. And you added Hankins, and Mike McCarthy today during his presser said he stepped right in, looks just like he fits in with this defense, and he allows Van Der Esch and Anthony Barr and those guys to fill the gaps that they're supposed to fill, which is sometimes a problem with those guys. But the run defense stuffs it, and that includes Justin Fields. They stuff Justin Fields and keep him from doing that. But, I mean, Khalil Herbert is a menace, bro. Like, I know what they have there, but Herbert is chaos for you to try and stop. So,
can I ask you a quick question then? If the Cowboys do stuff the run, do you kind of see it being like a destruction?
Yeah.
I could
see this game getting so out of hand, because then Justin Fields is being forced to air it out, which they haven't shown to be apt at so far, Kevin.
Right.
And that's when the frothing of the mouth happens for Diggs and even Anthony Brown. It would be for Jordan Lewis. I'm sad that he's not out there for a game like that. But for Bland too, maybe he gets one stuck in his armpit too. But I think that this group can really take advantage of that. I would suspect this week you get a Hooker and a Diggs interception.
Okay.
That's what I'm going with, a Hooker and a Diggs.
I like it.
Cowboys lose. I'm not saying this is it, but this would be the outcome in our discussion, because Tony Pollard isn't a 25 carry player. You say if Dak had to go out, I believe it. If Zeke's not on the field, I don't think that they can continue to do the same formula, because we haven't seen it yet. So they will lose if we learn. Man, everybody, Mickey was right. If we learn that, I think it's because that he's not a 25 carry player.
Don't you think it really sucks that this might be his only shot at that then? Like, if he goes 25 carries and gets
you don't get to choose your
60
shot,
yards. I know. It's unfortunate that it feels like the judgment will be made is if this game he goes for 25 and 60, that everyone will be like, see, he can't do it. Off of one game, they'll be like, I know this was your first shot at like being the full-time running back, but you failed, so you're out.
Yeah, like if our show was depicted off the first time we were in drive time.
Oh my God. If you thought
and
that this show moves fast now, yeah, we got pulled to the side by Grego in an amazing moment where Waddle was in the studio with us, and he goes, I'm sorry, who are you?
And then he looked at us after he made Waddle leave the studio, and he said, what the F was that, guys, yesterday? And we were like, oh, we got to be better. And then we were.
Yeah.
So that's like, I understand you. It might stink that this is, and maybe the opponent is right, but dude, go get it. You know, if they call it, you haul it, is kind of what our tattoos are going to say next week.
Absolutely. From the 6-0-3, Cowboys lose because Fields runs for 60 yards and a touchdown. The defense fails to stop the run and create multiple turnovers, and the offense scores 13. From the 4-6-9, Cowboys win because Dak looks like Dak from the first half of the season. Look, I don't want to go too far.
First half of last season?
Yes.
Okay, because not first half of this season.
First half of last season. And I don't want to go too far with this, but when people are like, what are your expectations? If you get the Dak before the calf injury last year to go along with this defense, I absolutely believe this team can win the Super Bowl. Now, here's the thing. Those are multiple ifs right there, and I don't know how likely those things are to happen.
You were comparing that Dak Prescott to the Mahomeses and that Josh Allen's in the league.
He was
Dak Prescott.
And even if you're like, well, he was not that good, fair enough. If you think he's slotted right behind it, can we all agree that if Dak Prescott turns into the Joe Burrow level third best quarterback in the NFL, that you have an opportunity to win the Super Bowl for sure?
Yeah, especially with this defense.
Yeah, I just don't know if that is going to happen.
This is something I don't expect, but I appreciate this text. From the 214, Cowboys lose if they are already on their bye in their heads. That is a place where you got to make sure your
Mike's
guys,
at.
you got to finish. You got to finish that place. You know, listen, you go on vacation right as that last week leads up to it. You're starting to get plans in your head and everything about what you're going to do. I wonder this. Bless you, Kevin, who also. Son of a biscuit!
I did.
Can't do it.
I said it really
fast. Try. You didn't even try. Like, I
he
knew
never
it was
does.
happening.
You're going to sneeze again during the show.
Dude,
you always do it twice a day, at least during our show.
I want somebody. I did it for a while.
We had a lot of people who texted in. You can talk.
I need our Tolos to start charting this for us whenever we call out Kevin for not doing this. So I'll chart the sneezes. You chart out the times he didn't say words.
I like the opposites here from the 469. Cowboys lose if Malik Davis has more rushing yards than Tony Pollard. From the 806, Cowboys win because Malik Davis goes for more than 100 yards rushing. That'd be something.
Dude, that'd be awesome if all of a sudden Malik Davis, he's like, this is my one shot today, and he's out there doing it and he's running for his, and he's like, I can replace Zeke. Just let that dude rest all year.
I would still feel bad for Tony Pollard again if that is what happened.
People expect Tony Pollard to get the ball. You don't expect Malik Davis to.
That's true.